Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Mutema, Nairobi-based photographer. So, guys, in today's tutorial, I'll show you how to retouch with the dust and scratches method as a request from a subscriber. And yeah, so today I'll be retouching this. It's also someone requested me to retouch a light skin model, and yeah, here's the tutorial. So, guys, this is a portrait. I shot it in my photo studio. You can see I did some color correction in Lightroom. If I could show you the before color correction, this is how I did my photo. So what I did, the photo was a little bit warm, so I just cooled it down, and you can see what we have is a fully edited photo already. But the photo isn't retouched, and if you are a Lightroom fan, you can just deliver the photo like this. But as for me, I need to do some retouch and everything, and for the photo to just look nice. So what I'll do, I'll just right click and select edit in Photoshop 2020 and then say okay. So just waiting. So you can see I have my photo here in Photoshop, and the first thing I'll do, I'll remove the blemishes. So this is how I remove my blemishes. So you can either use the patch tool, or you can use the healing brush tool. So today I'll be using the healing brush tool, and this is what I'll create a new layer for this background layer. Okay, and then on the sample current layer, then you select current and below. That way you can still remove this and your background remains as original, and you can also undo up somewhere where you didn't want to remove the blemishes. Okay, here's another tip. So if you want to see all the blemishes well, you can just create a black and white layer like this, then you reduce the reds, and now you can see your blemishes are even popping more. Okay, let's click on our new layer and then select our healing brush tool. Okay, so what you'll do, you press Alt in your keyboard to sample on a cleaner area and just paint on the area where you want, and do this to every blemish. Make sure the size of your brush is the same size as the blemish you removing. So just do this. This will be a longer tutorial, so guys, just stick along and let's do this. Okay, so remove the blemishes. Make sure you remove all the blemishes in your model's skin to make sure when you do frequency separation, your photo will look awesome and it will be outstanding. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to just do frequency separation with the dust and scratches method, and it's an easier method to do frequency separation, and it gives you instant results. So try to remove the blemishes in our model's face. So of late I've been doing so many studio shoots, and I'm really enjoying doing studio photo shoots, and it really helps me to become more creative. And also when you get good indoors and outdoor, it's actually an added advantage for you as a photographer. So if I could just disable the black and white and try to hide this, you can see the before and after. You can see all the blemishes we have removed. You can see the before and after. Before, okay, before and after. Okay, so if I could just hide the background layer, you can see all the blemishes we have removed. So if you just want to erase a blemish you didn't want it to remove, you just create a new layer on this layer we created. So you create a layer mask, and then what you're gonna do, just pick your brush, make sure the foreground color is black, and then just increase the opacity, then paint this, and that way you remove the blemish, or you undo the blemish where you didn't want to where you didn't want to remove, like you just undo the process, and instead of just undoing or deleting the whole layer, you can just remove the I mean undo the blemish, or undo the blemish removal where you didn't want it to appear. So let me just enable the background layer again, and then here we have a photo with no blemishes. So if I could check more on the skin and continue with the blemish removal. So as I said, guys, this will be a very long tutorial, so just stick along and follow along, and I'm sure you learn something from it. So sample and paint on, you sample from a clean area and just paint on the blemish, and that way you'll get just foreground color is white. Okay, hope you guys are really following along. I try so much to upload like 3 to 4 videos every month, so just follow along, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to learn more tutorials. So yeah, I guess our photo, we have removed all the blemishes in our photo. So the next thing I'll do, I'll just create a merge layer of everything right here. So what I'll do, I'll press Control Alt Shift and E in your keyboard to create a merge layer of everything. We'll just delete this black and white, and just press Control Alt Shift in your and E in your keyboard to create a merge layer of everything. Okay, so if I could just disable this and this, you get that. So if you can just yeah, you can see like just a layer of everything. So if you disable this, you just get the layer we created. It's just a merge layer of the blemishes in the background layer. You get a new layer. Okay, so you duplicate that layer once, the merge layer, and then let's name these textures, or let's name this low frequency, and let's name these textures. Okay, so what you'll do, disable this texture layer, then select the low frequency layer. So then go to filter, then instead of going to blur, Gaussian blur, go to noise. Okay, then dust and scratches. Then what you'll do, you make sure these you reduce the radius to the lowest number possible, and that lowest number is 1. Then zoom out your image right here, then select somewhere in your skin where you think the texture is a little bit high. So let's just look somewhere in the skin where you think the texture is a little bit higher than everywhere in the knee. Then we can just reduce the texture. So just reduce this something until all the textures disappear, but the image will not look so fake. So make sure textures, let's say 7 is okay. Yeah, I think 7 is okay. Then I'll just click okay. Okay, then I'll do the normal method, that's enable the textures layer. Okay, then select on the textures layer, then go to image, then apply image, then select, we're subtracting the textures from the color. So we select the low frequency and then select the blending mode, subtract. Okay, you can see scale 2 and offset of 128, that's 50% gray. Okay, then say okay. Change the blending mode of the textures layer to linear light. Okay, up guys, from where we started up to where we are now, hope you following along and you learning something so far. So the next thing I'll do, I'll put all this in a group, select the textures and low frequency, then just press Ctrl G in your keyboard to just create a group of the frequency separation. You can rename this group to frequency separation, all dust and scratches. Okay, frequency separation. Okay, hope we are together so far. Okay, so the next thing I'll do, I'll create a black and white layer on top of our frequency, or just inside our frequency separation group, to just identify the highlights and the shadows together. So hope you guys are following along, and my subscriber who really requested this video, hope you really following along as we do this frequency separation. So select your mixer brush tool. Okay, after selecting, sorry about that guys, after selecting your mixer brush tool, okay, make sure you select it's a clean brush, and then make sure it cleans after every stroke. Okay, then the wetness at 100, load 75, mix at 90, and flow at 100. Okay, make sure these at 0 and this one at 0, and make sure sample all layers is not even selected. Okay, so I have a tip for you. If you want to retouch this photo while zoomed in, you can create another, you can just duplicate this photo to be your preference or reference photo when you're retouching, so that you want and pay attention here. This is what you do. When you go to Windows, okay, and then select arrange, then you say new window for our image, the name, the way you have named your image. So when you have created a new photo, like a duplicate photo of the same photo you're retouching, with all the adjustments you have done so far in your photo. So if you want to arrange it to be next to each other, so that when you're retouching this, you can, the one is zoomed down and the other one is zoomed in, you can refer from each other. So this is what you do. Go to arrange again. Okay, arrange, and then select the arrange, then select the two up vertical. Okay, so you can see one photo is select on this. You can see one photo is zoomed in and the other photo is zoomed out. This way you can understand whether you are over retouching or overdoing what you are doing. So guys, let's continue with the retouching. So what I'll do first, I want to brush the highlights alone and the shadows alone. So I'll just reduce the blacks in our the reds in our black and white, to make sure we can very well identify the shadows and the highlights, because our model is a little bit lighter. So select on the low frequency and then pick your mixer brush tool. Then this is what we're going to do. Let's brush this shadow over here like that, and then let's brush these highlights over here. Okay, and then just increase the size of your brush, then brush the mid tones right there. And if we could just see, you can see we have retouched that area. Okay, if I could show you the before and after, you can see before, after, before, after, before, after. Okay, so here is another tip, guys, please follow along. I'm giving, if you want to retouch somewhere and you have to retouch it very straight, you can as well rotate your image in Photoshop. And this one, you just press R in your keyboard, then you can just rotate your image the way you want it, so that you can just be, if you like, you can be so perfect while you're retouching your image. So let's say I just want to just reduce the blacks, the reds, the blacks, so that I can identify the shadows very well and the highlights very well. I want to retouch these highlights over here and the shadows, like the cheekbone, like that. Then start these ones right here, and like that. Hope you guys are really following along. You can see I can refer from this image how I'm doing my retouching. When I rotate it, this won't rotate because this is my preference image, but still applying the same settings, the same thing I'm doing to this image. Hope you guys are getting enough tips from our today's tutorial. So this is how I use the dust and scratch methods, and sometimes you don't need to overdo. Just take your time, don't overdo it. And so let's rotate again and see. Bring back. I want to retouch the nose, and for me to retouch the nose, sometimes I prefer rotating it to something like that so that I can get the nose highlight very straight. So this is what I'm gonna do. You can see there's this the way our nose is shaped, the way the nose is always shaped. Like there's a way you can just retouch it and distort the shape of the nose. So sometimes you have to just be creative with how you're doing it, and this way you get some very nice retouched image. So this is just, I'm using the dust and scratches method, and you can see it's really giving me a very nice image. If I could just disable, let me zoom this out, just rotate again once more. You can see there's a rotation angle up there. Make sure it's at 0. When it's at 0 now, your image is extremely very straight. So if I could just disable the black and white, and you pay attention on our reference image, you can see our image is really retouched. Sorry, it's coming along. Just zoom this. You can see our image is really coming along with the retouch. Hope you guys are really following along with how we're doing our figure. You can see I haven't blended so well right here, so I'm doing it right away. So let's continue. I prefer now retouching while it's a little bit zoomed out, but you can see it's just 25%. You should never zoom a photo to 100% while you're retouching or while you're doing any adjustments in the model's skin. That's just according to what I think. Yeah. So the next thing I'll do, I'll just come down here to the neck. I know I haven't touched somewhere the other side of the face, so it's just a process. You have to master it for you to just follow along and understand how it's really done, and so that you can end up with a very nice image. So I'll just rotate once more. Okay, and just zoom this in. I want to retouch this area of the mouth like that. For photography, you have to go so much into details and just understand like how you really want your model's face to look or model's skin to look. Make sure you are very keen with your frequency separation, you are very keen with your dodge and burn. And as soon as I master the dodge and burn, guys, I'm bringing you the tutorials very soon, like how to retouch with no frequency separation, just dodge and burn alone. And the moment I master, guys, I'm bringing you the tutorials right here. So if I could show you the before and after, you can see the model skin is really coming along. So if you requested this video, hope you're really following along and understanding how we're doing this and how everything is really coming along. So just this area. So yeah, if you requested the dust and scratch frequency separation method, guys, and make sure the values you're using are the best values that you won't overdo or you won't kill all the details in your image. And so I guess this ant was a little bit blurry because it really came a little bit behind the main photo, the main focus area, so don't worry about that. It's a portrait creativity. So just retouch that highlight there, then just this big shadow right there like that. Hope you guys are really following along and understanding how we really doing this frequency separation. So you could just disable the black and white and then show you the before and after. You can see something about dust and scratches, it really balances the skin tone of the model, and that's actually the main reason I prefer using dust and scratches. It balances all the skin tone of the model and the dimensions and everything. That's the shadows and the highlights of the models. They're always balanced very well, and you can get a very nice shaped face or shaped collarbones, everything of the model looking very nice. And this is actually the main reason, and you can see it leaves a very uniformly retouched skin with some good texture depending on the pixels of your camera, and that way you get a very well retouched image. As I said in my previous video, how you retouch your photos doesn't matter so much. What matters is the results. So you have to, all these methods, they all lead up to one thing and results and a very well retouched image. So hope you guys are really following along as we're doing this dust and scratches frequency separation, because someone requested, and I'm trying to be uploading at least 3 to 4 times every single month, so that yeah, you can learn from how we do frequency separation. You can learn if you are an upcoming photographer, if you are still you are a commercial photographer. Yeah, so guys, I think our image is fully retouched, and so if I want to just go into details, just rotate this, just pick my mixer brush tool, just go into details with this, and make sure you perfect your frequency separation, you perfect your image so that your image looks so nice. So just rotate again. If you want to rotate, just press R in your keyboard. If you want the brush, just press B in your keyboard, and that way your image. Now this let me show you the before I did frequency separation. If I could just look at my reference image right here and just zoom it back. If I could just zoom my reference image back like this, and someone requested me to retouch a brighter image and still show dimensions in the image and skin texture. So here is your tutorial. So if I could show you before and after. Before the face wasn't so well shaped, so I used my dust and scratches method frequency separation to create this well dimensioned smooth skin tone and well balanced skin tone in Photoshop. And that's just how we do frequency separation with the dust and scratches method. So it's just the same way as the Gaussian blur method, and I think this gives me faster results compared to when you're using the Gaussian blur method. So you can use the lasso tool and the mixer brush tool at the same time, but for this you can either use the lasso tool alone or the mixer brush alone, and you end up with an amazing results. Bearing in mind that, or considering that you use the best values while creating the frequency separation layers. Hope you guys learned something from our today's tutorial. So I'm not so fluent, but I'm still learning on how to be so fluent with my tutorials and how to be uploading like 3 to 4 times every single month. And hope before the year ends we'll have learned a lot, we'll have grown a lot, and we have And the only way you can grow or you can learn every single day, the only way you can grow your skills is by learning and practicing on every single day or any given time you have. So guys, thank you so much for watching my tutorial. Hope you have understood the dust and scratches method. I know it's not a well satisfied method of frequency separation, but I prefer using it because it really gives me some nice results. So thank you guys so much. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you.